Some people just don't listen to me. I mean, you gotta and that's why they're all
You want the little children, right? You want my neighbor talking to
you want to sit there talking with you.
my neighbor's directly talking about it. We all want that. He said, I wasn't listening, I can stop. He said,
Yeah, we got the hill, you go right through it. That's what I say. I was talking to Sheldon. It's like a little scene to this, right? Sam's yeah, we're all talking like 30 minutes. No, there we go. We're talking about the devil. In a good sort of way.
Friday night, with a late show.
Your date for tonight is.
I'll do. I don't know what's right. I mean, it's always us. I've got to
I'm not a real estate guy, but I'll tell you that.
That's called the meeting to order. All the aldermen are here along with our along with actually, I'd like to have Craig Strickland lead us in the prayer and pledge.
Heavenly Father, as we gather here as leaders of the city, I can't help but grieve for the Marino family. I ask that you lay your hands on them and wrap your arms around them and give them the relief, the feeling of comfort that only you can grant us. I also ask for the citizens of the city to care for them and let them know that indeed you love them. Father, forgive us where we fail of our sins, and I'll ask you to guide us in our words, our actions, our thoughts, and our deeds as we go through this meeting tonight. I ask all this in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
All in favor? Somebody's getting a phone call.
You got
Is
it,
it a phone
sorry.
call or a text? Anyway, is there a motion to accept the consent agenda number 1 through 5? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All righty. Now, you want to give away some money? All righty. None of us are getting it, but one person here is getting it. So if you guys would come forward. Guys, would come around and we'll take a picture with him.
You need to say what this is first?
Absolutely. I'm gonna get y'all to turn around so people out here and on YouTube can see it.
Oh, lovely. Why don't you come on? You could have made a picture anyway. Look at
All righty, here's the fun thing.
Okay, so obviously Waste Pro picks up trash here in the city of Kettle. We have a 3-year 10K safety award bonus. This is received by drivers if they have no incidents, no write-ups, no attendance issues. So this is not the first time Mr. Graham has stood in front of this crowd. 3 years ago, I presented him the same big old check like this. He's already received it, but we wanted to acknowledge him and, you know, the safe driving he does within the city.
My name is Roland Joyner. I'm the division manager for Waste Pro in Hattiesburg. Marvis Hill, who basically started when Waste Pro started here, I just learned that he was also a 2-time recipient before he got into management.
That's great. Oh, I'm Stormy Lewis. I'm the operations manager. I was here for a long time, left, now I'm back. Glad to be back here working with y'all.
Yes, that's right. I'm Greg Smith. I'm a driver for Waste Pro.
Same here, a good one.
Yeah, go ahead. Marvis is nervous. Marvis has been here a long time with us, but I would say this, I appreciate the partners that we have. Obviously, we depend, especially as the mayor and the board and a lot of the city folks, we depend on our partners to make this thing work. And I appreciate the work that you guys do on our behalf on so many occasions, and the favors and all the extra stuff there. It's a
Takes
tough
on the
job.
weekend.
It's the one service that we touch people over 4,000 people every week. And it takes a group to do this kind of stuff. And with drivers like this, we know, and I want to make sure, did they spell your name right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I'll on you, Mark, if you would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you for the
Hey girl, how you doing? Yes.
Someone tell the mayor to come back.
You want to go? You started.
Pro Tem, it's been interesting. Out there shaking hands.
Kind of need you here.
Miss Ada, you could have came up here and. I was saying, you could have taken over by that. Much longer.
Yeah.
Wait, have you got some public comments? Dr. Boggs, come on up here.
Do you prefer that I wait until you're getting down to number 7?
Can,
Whatever
if you want, would
I mean,
like
I don't
to,
know
yeah.
what you want me to do.
That is no problem. You don't trust our memory, do you?
No, it's
No, that's
not
fine.
you
No,
at
that's
all.
fine. Actually, come on, we'll get you out. Oh, we're
all right.
gonna get to that.
I'll get.
Hey, Kimberly, step on up.
No.
I'll give you a little background on this. Kimberly lives on Grace Cross Road, and when you go down Grace Cross Road a little bit, you run into basically a road that's not a city road. Keep in mind that this is an area that got annexed, so paperwork and all that kind of stuff a little bit more complicated than under normal circumstances.
403 other people live there beside you?
4, yes, and they're all elderly and they're all disabled. So I have a tractor that has now broken down. And I was kind of keeping up with it when I first purchased the property and kind of just grading it and stuff like that.
Is it
But
mainly gravel or a little of
it's
dirt,
little
gravel,
dirt,
everything?
gravel, yeah. And from my understanding, way back when, it used to run all the way across from Harrington to Springfield. So I guess through the years, they stopped maintaining it, or maybe just, I don't know, somebody just closed it down. I have an aerial map, and so this is from the emergency management, and it does go way past my property, so that's 660 feet. I'm 660 feet off, so I'm right next door to Miss Ada. So my property butts up with hers. So, I don't know if y'all wanna pass this around or whatever, but this is me, this is Miss Ada. That's me. These people are from Chicago. And then this older gentleman, he's lived there. How long has Mr. Rand been there?
Joe, if y'all had to get a fire truck up there, y'all could be pretty hard to get past that one.
Hard to get to her house as it was before she fixed it. That's right, because there ain't no water flood, where we don't have no water hydrants down that road.
We have no water hydrants. We have no access to emergency systems. We have no access. Police have gone down that road and gotten stuck in the mud. So we have absolutely no services. If any of my neighbors, well, I think the older young lady that was there, she's
Are you on Barrontown Water?
Barringtown Water.
I wonder if Barrington, the last house down here, is it on Barrontown as well? I wonder if it goes
All
all
of
the way
them,
down.
all of them. I think everybody on Grace Cross, or I
Miss
think
Ada,
it's
you on
Ada put
Barringtown,
hers on.
You on Barringtown?
I
Just
just
about
wonder if
everybody,
mine-
everybody in Springfield is on there, is on there.
So
Everybody.
I have no city sewer, no public, like, I have Barrington Water, and the only thing Steve was able to do for me was bring Waste Road to come get my trash.
Kimberly, are you on city sewer? Are you on a leach field?
I have a septic, because, yeah,
She's so far off the road.
yeah.
The potential complication to this is though that road actually may be privately owned, so to speak. So, we would actually have to go through a process of either purchasing or eminent domain or having it gifted to us. And I don't think the gifting part would probably be a problem, if we give a road.
So I have 3
That being
deeds
said,
back,
I don't know that we
and
can just
they're
directly
not-
take it in
Yeah.
without doing the.
Well, Kim, I don't have a problem with taking the road in and making the motion,
Yeah.
but I think I would
So
rather
adopt.
look at all the legal aspects of it done first.
here's all the deeds from
Okay.
back up to like,
Because Robbie,
Wait.
we can check to see if it's private in the county.
We get to check, and I'm just gonna tell you based on, this came up with Ms. Molina a few years back, and we looked at it, and what I understand, you can tell me, I think your research backs this up, that even though that somebody may have paid this at one point, and
No,
there's
it's
been
not paid.
allegations.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's
so, I don't
It
think,
never been paid.
Never.
so never been paid, so then that tells me it's not a street that was ever dedicated to the county or the city. So for us to get it, we're either gonna have to purchase it from whoever owns it or eminent domain.
Yeah.
And, so that's.
Unless they give it to us.
Unless, yes, exactly.
Well, let us check on that, Ms. Kimberly, and then once these
I'll get
Robbie
with,
gets there
I'll get with our
information
city
back.
engineers, usually where we start with something like that.
Yeah,
I'll
because this
talk
goes
with
back to
them.
1975, and there's no easement on here. So we've never had any access to the properties that are now city property. So basically,
What do you mean by that? See that, when you said that a while ago, that
there's
confused
no
me.
easement.
Well, you said what's access to city property. That's the part
So
that was
we're,
throwing me off.
like, the road, like the way, if somebody has y'all's maps, whenever it was annexed, that's the aerial from the county, but the way that you guys annexed it, that line that was annexed runs,
Okay, so
puts
you're
us
just
all
saying,
inside
They're
the
inside the
city.
city, right?
But we
So,
have
yeah.
no way to access our property from the
from the
city.
road, from
Yeah.
Yeah,
Springfield
from
Road.
the city side of it, is what we're saying.
They're landlocked, basically, without.
But that really didn't have anything to do with annexation. That's always been true.
Yeah.
Right, I
Mhm.
mean, all we did was say that one part of
'Cause
of
the
this,
line-
of this line was in the county and we moved it to the city, but we didn't change roads. That didn't change the dedication of it. So that's why you kept saying something about city property and I was a little
I
confused.
think
but
the line
understand what you're
ran
talking
like,
about. City
Put
limits.
out Harrington Road and it stopped.
yeah. So when it was annexed, it kind of like turned it around, so now the city, like, I guess the county stops in front of us.
Yes, ma'am, but the roads themselves or anything like that didn't change. Like
The only
driveway-
access to that property was on that driveway, and that's now county.
It changed status, but it didn't actually change path.
It didn't change path, no, but it's county.
Yes.
That, the other side of us city residents, we're in the city.
Yes.
But we have to come in through the county, and the county won't service us because we're in the city.
All right, well, let, we're gonna get our engineers to look at both others.
And I said something about that road.
Yes, ma'am.
That wasn't a road.
It
When
was-
I was the first one moved down there on that street. It wasn't a street, it wasn't a road, it was woods,
Right.
nothing but wood. When I bought that piece of property for my aim, I had them to cut me a road down there. The Forest County, we was in Forest County in Hattiesburg. The man that come out there cleaning the roads and all of that, he cut me that road to where I am, to my house. And it used to go all the way through, you could go all the way through on to the other end.
What's
To
the-
Harrington.
People stopped it, they stopped it.
92,
Right there.
well, because
Right
it goes
over
from
there.
state 50, what number are you saying? 54?
Your
The
address.
address, 60 Bird Park Road.
60, so it goes from 60 to me 92,
You're 92 what?
Grace Cross. And then Mr. Ram
That's what
is
it is.
94,
I know that.
Yeah, right further down.
Ram is further down from me.
Chief Henry, have you had our trucks down that road to their house or as a drive-by before? Can you drive that route and kind of give us a kind of a?
You could never get a fire truck back there.
Well, yeah, so I just want, I wanted him to make sure.
Like, I will burn and die in my house if you had to get a fire
Well,
truck.
and when you first came to see us, it was actually, we couldn't get a school bus down
You
there, am I
can,
right?
my son, he's autistic, I have to drive him because the special needs bus will not come down that road.
That's what I
Because
recall.
of the kids on their wheelchairs,
Yeah.
he won't, he said, the bus barn told us immediately no.
Right.
But like I said, once we get our information, I don't have a problem with, making the motion.
Yeah, and that's all we want, I mean, just to have emergency access. I mean, we don't have, and now it's deteriorating bad. Like I said, about 2 months ago, we had a big old tree come down, and I had to have Jack Sullivan come out there, and he charged $300. I mean, and I had to put that out of my pocket so that Mr. Rand could get out of his house.
Mhm.
Hey, where do you put your trash can at?
They put it, right, we put it,
Oh, by Miss Ada?
no, Steve got them to be able to come down to there, to where the tower is.
Okay. I would think that'd be kind of ugly. But anyway,
So I mean,
okay.
even
Okay,
the truck is not being able to get down there anymore, so
Well,
I
we're gonna
mean,
look
just
into
look
this
into
further now.
that,
Thanks for
and all we're
coming.
asking is that we can get something, gravel or something, I mean, anything that'll give us a little bit of maintenance to it, where we can
Well, they're all
even
gonna
get
ask,
back
I'll
to our
ask about
house.
a couple of our other roads too.
You know how slowly things move, but I know that he's gonna contact the engineer in the next couple of weeks, so it'll move slowly, but it will move forward.
Yeah, and Steve is, I think, working on that road this year, so whatever we can do. And, mostly also get to the bus barn, so we can see about putting it on the route, because, I mean, I can't get my son on the bus and he's only in third grade.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
and, I'll leave that arrow map for you guys.
Thank
you.
Is that on your paving list?
Next came up.
Great crossroads, both sides of John.
Oh, these are-
So she's on gravel, but.
It's pretty narrow, road.
I'm sure if that buy that, stepping down.
This is a single car, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one car.
save
You get,
a little money.
somebody had to pull off the road for somebody else.
Thanks, Mike.
And at this
Miss
point,
Marilyn.
we can't even get down there because it's like, I leave my car up towards the edge of the road and literally get all my kids and my groceries on a four-wheeler to go down there, because it's that bad.
And this is, she's not charging parking, right?
Miss Ada's about to start charging all of us parking. Because we all gotta leave our cars up there.
Hey, Miss Carolyn?
Good evening.
Hey, Miss Carolyn,
How y'all doing?
we're good.
Well, excuse me. Silence is about to get next to me. I'm here to request some information about Kettle Senior Citizen Center. I realize that it's unoperational right now, but we would like to have an update on it.
Well, I'll give you a little bit. I talked to Melissa earlier, and I think we can go ahead and let everybody start using it again, and then once they start to work, the days they're working, we'll probably have to shut it those days. But up until then, it's just been real slow with the insurance. But I think we got all that settled out. All the insurance stuff is settled on it.
Yeah, I just need y'all to authorize me to file it.
Okay. So I think we can open it up and let them use it.
Right, because, that activity there, some people, that's the only thing they have.
Yes, ma'am.
They can't drive, they have no transportation, and it has been awesome to seniors.
Absolutely.
And like I say, I needed some answers, to see where we are with it, and if it's gonna take longer, we need to find a place for us to go.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that, y'all need to find a place for us to go.
So I think we're gonna make that work.
So, okay, that's all I need to do.
Thank you, Ms. Carroll.
Thank y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
That was too easy, Miss Carolyn. That was too easy.
I'm glad. I like easy stuff.
All right, let's move along. We have no proclamations, no bids closed, no old business. Starting at general business, number 7. Is there a motion, request to discontinue community water fluoridation? Is there a motion?
Let's hear from the,
Let's make
a motion.
No, I was hoping we get a motion and
motion
second.
second, and then we'll have discussion. I make a motion.
Second for discussion.
Well, hold on a second. Well, why don't you go first, Mike? That's you.
We can't get fluoride at this time. Nobody can. We've been out for about 2 months. When it becomes available, the cost will be astronomical. I've looked up the prices we're paying. It's about $96. I think is the last time we bought some in March of this year. They're talking $200 to $300 a bag is what they're predicting. We don't know when we can get it.
Any idea, EPA, even when it will be available?
No EPA at this point. Sunrise, they're on it. They're not able to use it because they can't get it. Barrontown, they're not fluoriding their water. So it's no big deal for them, but for us in Sunrise, that's, we got to check with it, or, you know. we can't-
What is the reason why it's so hard to get?
I guess the chemical makeups or whatever.
How many bags do we typically use a month?
We used, in this past budget year, October to now, we used 65 bags. Previous year was 112 bags. Cost wise, previous year it cost us $7,000. If the new cost of about $250 a bag would be $5,300. Or no, it'd be $28,000 because we jumped up. And the cost of this year's bags, how much we bought, and can't find none right now, we're out. If we can base off the number we're using now, it would go from 5,000 to 16,000. There again, we don't know what it's gonna cost. They're predicting $200 to $300. We don't know. We don't know when we're gonna be able to get it. And so at this point, we were looking at, okay, do we want to get out? Do we not? And that's why I brought it before the board to let the board make that decision whether they want to pursue it, because to get out of it, the board has to authorize the health department. They got to come up, give a speech and all this. We have to let everybody and the citizens know. And also, I brought it for y'all to make that decision.
Let's hear from Dr. Marvin. So you're saying it's an $11,000 increase?
Yeah, you're dealing with, you know, 200-300 versus 100
Estimate.
for the year.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying per bag. And they, like I said, this fiscal year we're in right now, we've already bought 65 bags and we're out. Can't get any. Last year we bought 112 bags.
And what do we budget for the next, for next fiscal year?
We upped the chemicals some
To 30,000, right?
because of everything going up,
Yep.
you know. But we didn't have no idea what fluoride was gonna do. We still don't know what fluoride's gonna do.
And when you say access, so it's really an issue of access right now also, because if we're not chlorinating right now, for the last 60 days, we haven't had to put fluoride in the water for our systems.
For 2 months, we've not been putting it over in that.
Was there a requirement for us to announce that or publicize that?
No requirements, nothing said, we had to announce it or anything like that. I don't think they anticipated it being out this long, I don't know.
When we talk about sole, are we sole source, or are we able to go outside the state of
Well, our
Mississippi?
normal people we get it from, and they can't get it, and we've asked others, so, you know, Sunrise, I'm sure, has looked into it, and they can't get it either, so.
I'll be willing to bet that this is.
I mean, that's it's a national issue.
Fluoride is the 13th most prevalent mineral in the world. So I think you're gonna find that it all comes down to labor, to packaging it and getting it out to the public, and that's what it's all gonna be about. It's not that
It'll
it
be supply
doesn't
chains.
exist. It's just a supply chain like steel and other things that you've seen. Hi, good evening, I'm Dr. Barbara Malden. I've been a dentist in Pell since 1984. It's been my pleasure to be here and to be in the city of Petal. I was not born here, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh. But one of the things that I came before the alderman back in 1984 was to start fluoridation for our city. The reason was because I saw children below the age of 6 that were gutted with dental decay. And it was absolutely heartbreaking. I had children coming in and they were absolutely gutted. We didn't put it in then. We didn't put it in 1991. Who came in 1991? My colleague, Dr. Chuck Harrell. He and I both came to the alderman and we both said, let's put fluoride in our water, let's help our kids, and let's make a better society. That didn't happen. So we came back in 11, and luckily there was a grant, and that's how we ended up with fluoride in Petal the first time. There was a grant from the public health, generally up in the feds. And so we got fluoride. Praise God, because those 11-year-olds, they started with fluoride in the water. Let me explain what fluoride does. And I'm gonna let you pass around these things. This is a piece of concrete block, and this is a piece of quartz from Lowe's, so please hold on to it, okay? This is a concrete block. Now, what I've just given you, and I'm gonna try to explain this. First of all, I gave you a periodic chart. And if you look at your periodic chart, I've made an arrow, and it shows you that the fluorine, the mineral of fluoride is very, very tiny. It is number 9 on the periodic chart. So when you take a tooth and you're building it as a child, this is embryonically, as a fetus, as a baby, as an infant, as a toddler, and as a preschooler, you're making teeth. And teeth are made of something called hydroxyapatite. It's got an OH molecule. We all know H2O is water. You know water has a mass to it. If I were to throw water in your face, you feel it, you know it. OH is a very large group. And when we add fluoride to the water, the OH is substituted with a fluoride ion. Tiny, tiny molecularly, this weighs almost nothing as compared to an OH. Why did I give you that? Teeth that are made with OH, hydroxyapatite, are like that concrete block. They're porous, and if you held it and that quartz in your hand, now volumetrically they may not be exactly the same, which is the heavier? Which is the denser? Which is the less likely to be penetrated by bacteria? The dense one. And that's what fluoride does. It is not something that we should throw away. Now, who does it affect when you put fluoride in the water? Every single one of us. And the reason is, whether you are a baby, a child, a fetus growing, an embryo, you're going to be affected by this. Because you know what? If you take a man, and he was born and raised in a fluoride community, and he leaves that fluoridated water and moves to a non-fluoridated community, by the time he turns into maybe 15, 20 years, he will begin to show decay. He never had a cavity in his life as a child or as a growing up adult, but now he does. Well, why if it's inside the tooth? Because fluoride must be resupplied. Osmosis takes it out of the teeth. You heard on TV, we put enamel. Well, we can't put enamel back in your teeth, but we can put fluoride back in your teeth. And what it does is it helps remineralize that which is lost when we misbehave. And we don't floss, we don't brush, we don't do what we ought to do. So, I implore you, now I know it doesn't really sound very good, but Calvary, Canada is the one I got. They took fluoride out of the water and they saw within 1 year, 51% increase in decay in children below the age of 6. And the reason is, it is that important. If you're going to do anything for the children of this world, in our community, and I'm going to tell you what, I know people come to me from Barrontown, and I can tell who's not on pedal water. You know how I know? They've got cavities. They don't have the same density of teeth. And I can penetrate every single one of those pits, just like anybody who's ever been to the dentist, you take the Explorer, it goes right in. Well, guess what? That's because those teeth are not made of granite. They're not made of quartz. They are made like those concrete blocks, and you can just penetrate through it. I didn't bring one that's the least ever. Those are still pretty good blocks because those are the one at my house. But nevertheless, got some old ones, you can tell. But nevertheless, that's what I'm here to say. So please don't do this. If you're going to do anything for this community that affects every single one of us, this is that.
Sure. I'd like to change my motion just to table this until we can see what fluoride, what the price is.
If we could, just to clear the agenda, I mean, this thing's gonna keep showing up.
Let's just.
We can either kill it because nothing's happening one way or the other.
I'll make a motion, we leave the fluoride in.
And then once you get the number of the new number,
Then we can do it.
I will say that, I mean, everything's got a number to it. If it goes from 5,300 to 28,000, would be a consideration. Have y'all had any luck, speaking of, I hate to mention other entities while I'm sitting in here, but any other luck with the other water department? I know you and Chuck have talked to them probably.
You mean like Barrontown?
Yeah.
I never could get
I
their
don't
ear.
wanna say their name,
Nobody would. No, I never could, but that's why Sunrise has it,
Yeah.
because we did get their ear, but Barrontown was not interested in listening to us at the time. And we couldn't get, I mean,
talking about fluoride in the water and that kind of thing. I'm not going to speak as a doctor, but I'm going to encourage everyone to kind of do some research on this. As a historian, I know that it's had a huge effect on the advancement of humans as a race, and like looking at life expectancies and that kind of thing. It's not just teeth. There's other parts of the body it's very helpful for. And there's also some benefits to the actual piping system.
I don't think that the science in this is in question. The problem is like we actually can't buy it. So I'm actually a little bit curious. Has this affected y'all's industry at all? I know that there's fluoride in toothpaste and things like that. Is there?
I can go over here to Walmart, Walgreens, and buy by toothpaste. No, it's,
So
I've
toothpaste
not
is still
really
fine.
heard of the fact that you were having a shortage. However, I did hear today when I called my association and got this information that I could bring to you. They said there are some communities that are having a hard time getting it. But I'm just gonna say it's a supply chain issue and it'll be solved in.
It's two things. Right now, from a little bit of research that I could do, there's a lot of US areas that are buying their fluoride from China. We're having more and more troubles there. So I think it's our economic troubles with another country and all the supply chain issues that are kind of cropping up all over the place. So I'll say it seems like a problem right now, not to belittle the amount of money. $7,000 isn't that big of a hit to our budget. In all honesty, $20,000, we fight for it, we're trying to make sure that we're being responsible, but whenever we see a $20,000 increase, it's not something that freaks us out over things, especially whenever it comes to the health of our residents. But it does seem like the bigger issue is just that we're having a hard time finding it. And for all we know, that could get worse over the next year or two.
Well, I was actually on the board that approved to do the fluoride, and I thought it was a good idea then, and like I said, I won't change my motion to let's deny this right now until we at least find out what it's
When was it approved?
It's
2011.
It's what I remember. Yeah, it's not been that long.
2011?
I remember it in
2011.
I was part of that too, wasn't I?
I
remember.
Tony,
I
the one person
remember.
you should not forget.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, I know who my wife is, so anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thank you for that, and again, I understand your problems being the thing. The other thing I would suggest you to do is, you need to have your dentist here in town to tell you what we see, because you don't necessarily know what I know about my profession. I'm glad to share it, and thank you for this opportunity. But please, if y'all start considering this again and it comes up to a vote, I would like to be, at least advise you as what I know, because I can help, and I would love to do that. So please take that as an offer, and I would love to.
I'll say, I would love some insight, if you can ask around. Like, I know that being a dentist is the same as being in the toothpaste industry or anything like that.
Right.
But if
No,
there's
I
any
know.
rumors or anything like that that's kind of floating around, just from the related fields, I'd love to hear some of the stuff. I was like, I'm all for saying no.
I'm gonna leave my motion as it was, but I'm voting against it.
Second.
Well,
Mayor, I was like,
That's what was
that's,
Okay, from the-
no, you didn't say.
can he say his own, that's fine. One thing I like, Mayor, I think what kind of teased out of this is one is a supply chain and economics. We don't know what I think is probably within the realm of possibility of continue the program. It's just we have a disruption in our supplies, which is good news. That's the first time we've kind of heard this data. I'm more concerned that we've not been doing it for 2 months. I mean, that's what I picked up. And you say, let's say a child was just born, 2 months ago, that means the first 6 days. So, and like I said, I didn't know, Department of Health had some sort of requirement for us to announce it. I know when we don't do it, we have to go through a whole region. Let's say, hey, you're not doing it, but I'm relatively surprised. I don't think it's probably best policy to say we haven't been doing something for 2 months that people have been taking for granted. That's
Exactly.
Right? And that's what, I don't know how we fix that.
A
It's
third,
just,
a third of the city would have taken it for granted.
And I wrote,
but I'm only worried about the City of Federal Water Association right now. We're doing,
Like me and you wouldn't, because we don't get it anyway.
but see, I would write prescriptions for my patients
I do,
that
yeah.
are not getting
Are
the
you
service
seeing
they
any problems
should.
with that? I mean,
No.
I have gotten a prescription before.
Well,
Spread out. and-
no, I'm not seeing,
Well,
yeah,
it'll light
but
you- it'll light
compliance is
you up
always
if
a
you got-
problem.
If you're porous, it will light you up. Put fluoride directly on your teeth.
Oh, it hurts, yeah.
Yes.
Well, you might take care of yourself. I do floss some.
so, I don't know.
Anyway,
we
and
kind of-
that was part of the reason it hit the agenda, is just from an informational standpoint as well.
Well, have I provided you with some, I have plenty more,
appreciate that.
if you need more information or a
I
specific
got some
question, I'll
information
answer.
from,
Yeah, Mayor, I think.
Dr. Harold as well.
Misdirected my comment is that we have a problem if we have a policy that we're taking care of public health and we haven't done something for 2 months. And I know it's really not all our fault, no one's fault, because we just can't buy it. We just gotta let people know, because then maybe they do go get a special fluoride toothpaste for those youngins inside the city of Petal Water. So I mean, I don't know if we, if you update the population, weekly or monthly, say, hey, when we're back on track, So that, I think we're heading back to putting it back in water. It's just like I said, I don't want to.
We'll make an announcement and whenever matter of fact, when Mike, when you do get the ability to get it, bring it back to us and we'll reconsider it. Some obviously we'll have to reconsider it as a budget issue anyway.
Like I said, I just bring it to y'all's attention, I didn't know if y'all knew and if y'all wanted to discontinue or what, and let y'all know what they're saying future-wise, and as soon as we get it back, we'll put it back in, we gotta let y'all know what's going on when that's brought all this up, that's what we want.
But is it like, it could be 1 month, could be 3 months, could be 5 months, we don't know, right?
We don't have to-
That's my issue, we need to let the public know that,
Exactly.
hey, children inside the city of Petalwater, the other two unknown water entities, Sunrise, well, those other two, you know, we can't deal with them, but we can deal with the citizens inside the city of water, so. We'll keep
So
on.
like for like kids and people that are not in the city, that like obviously we don't benefit from it.
Right.
But would it be like, for you to do something like a dentist, like a drive or something where kids can be provided with, you know, toothpastes and stuff like that, and even the community, like.
What we're really talking about is fluoridated water means that the child takes the vitamin. And yes, a vitamin can be procured, but not without prescription. So you need to seek a dentist to write a prescription. And then there's, I'm very free with it because, you know, I want my children that I'm gonna see to have the benefit of that.
So could we do maybe like a community health, something where we could provide it to them in form of vitamin or something, because we don't have medical insurance and we don't have.
That
you know,
crosses that line. It has to be considered case by case. You can't just do that.
Yeah.
You have to.
All right, we got
Right.
a motion and a second. All in favor? Yeah, so don't nobody say nothing. All opposed? Yeah, I would do that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mike, I'm looking up, there's.
Thank you, Dr. Bond, we are totally confused now, but.
Most of these manufacturers are Czech or Chinese. We do have USA companies on here, but it appears that they buy their supplies from China. So I'm wondering if the supply isn't coming from the problems that we're seeing in our political atmosphere right now.
Well, you also say too,
Not fun job.
from a money,
Somebody in China.
I'm saying from a money standpoint, there's obviously not a lot of money because it's going to be so cheap. So they're like, let's go do something else, make money. Anyway, all right, let's move along. Let's, number 8, request to accept the RFP from Clearwater Solutions for Public Works Management and begin contract negotiations. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
The only thing I'll point out, it looks like the notes, the Clearwater was, their initial estimate back to us is about $1.4 million per calendar year, or per year. And then the other one, Premier Municipal Services, was 2.9 million. And then RJM was 5.1. So there's a huge diversity of, a range of bids for this. And, you know, I think there's a host of issues that can be brought back, maybe for lack of their due diligence on what we were asking for. And I think Clearwater had some clear insights, but, you know, they had asked some hard questions. So, you know, I think based on your evaluation criteria that Steve, you, Roman, Melissa, and the mayor were the ones that kind of made this recommendation. And cost was, I think, one of the smallest factors of all the 4 criteria. So, yeah, so, and I think what we're, the next step, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we're going to negotiate the specifics, in the specifics in the contract. And so it's not a done deal, because like I said, there's some pitfalls on both sides that we kind of hammer out at the table, how the services of the city, and how, is that all kind of accurate, Mayor?
Yeah, no, that's accurate. From a contract standpoint, we'll talk a little bit about more of it in executive session, but I would like to see yourself and Rocky play a role in that, kind of shaping something for us to kind of digest and go from there. Obviously, it's not a done deal till you accept the contract, but you know, in a perfect world, this would happen because we're, from a budget standpoint, getting ready to roll into a new budget. but this is something we've talked about for quite a few years. There was another company that's a big outfit called H2O. Oddly enough, the city of Laurel had always contracted out their water services, and that water service got bought out by a company called Suez. Suez does business with Ellisville, probably in the last year, a little over a year. And now H2O has been contracted to do their streets. So it's a little different because you got two different entities, one's taking one and one's taking the other. H2O does a good job down in Gulfport. So you're seeing privatization in this line of work more and more due to the cost and the inefficiencies of government, some of the red tape that we have to go through. So at the end of the day, I know there's a commitment from the administration and the board to get a job done, not to save money necessarily, but maybe get more for what we are doing. And a part of that equation is our inability to pay our people what they're worth and to attract people at a pay at what they're worth. So that's one of the things that we're battling against. So hopefully, once we come out of the contract thing, we'll have something that we can live with, and that we can have something that the people that do that line of work can go out there and win. We want to put everybody that does work on behalf of the citizens of this city in a position to win, and part of that is money. So you got to pay them to get some of the work done, and y'all know what contractors, construction, truck drivers, CDLs, I know what they're paying out there, and I know what our ability is to pay them. If we were going to make our people somewhat competitive, understanding the next month we would be uncompetitive again because it's a moving target, we'd have to put well over $100,000 into just pay into that department. And so we entered into this idea, understanding places like Goshen, Moss Point, some of the smaller towns around here are looking into this stuff as well. We got some experience doing that when we privatized our trash. And that's a tough line of work, debris especially. And so we're used to bear hugging things to get stuff done for our citizens. And if we enter into this and go forward with it, I see us doing the same thing to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we're working for the benefit and the betterment of this community. Long-winded, it's not even a campaign year, but anyway. My 2 cents. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I have had some constituents express some concern, and I know that they're going to watch this, and I would like to explain why I'm so for this move. We have and everyone knows what I'm about to say. It's about the drainage and getting the infrastructure, our drainage infrastructure caught back up. And this is the opportunity to get that fixed and to get it routinely maintained from here on. And this is the opportunity to have that a thing of the past, is get it taken care of. And I'm really excited about that. We have a lot of very strange, narrow canals that require trained expertise and equipment to get done. And these are the kind of things that they can potentially pull equipment from other states to get here, be experts on the subject to get the problems fixed, get it done. And it's the pool of resources that can be brought to our city to fix these very unique and specific situations would be exponentially larger. And so I'm supporting it because this is, to me, an opportunity to fix what everyone is probably pretty tired of me complaining about. But this is the opportunity I think I've been waiting for.
Awesome. Anything else, guys?
Thank you, Mayor.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, number 9, a request to accept maintenance agreement with Mississippi Power for, wow, Mike, you got a lot of stuff on this. Mississippi Power for lighting on the EGP and change lights to LED. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Mike?
Basically, the lights we've got on Milton Gannon right now are old style lights. They're having trouble getting parts for them to replace them. They're wanting to come in and put LEDs. Paperwork y'all got would be them coming in, putting all lights in. We just pay a maintenance, so like we do throughout the city. The other one is they can put them in and we purchase them, and we can do an agreement with them again like we currently have, where they can fix them if they go out. So that's kind of a couple of turnkey situations. Do we have anybody here with Mississippi Power? We have somebody here with Mississippi Power that can explain that further, if y'all want further information about that.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey, what's your name? Yeah, come on up.
Yes, come on up.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Samantha Ball. I'm with Mississippi Power. I do work in our lighting services department. I've been in that group for about 5 years now. Mike is exactly right. We're having a very difficult time getting the components for HID fixtures, which is great because LED is the new thing, right? LED is more reliable. So that's what we were proposing, is to go to LED. One of the main differences, and I don't know if it was explained correctly, is that with the lease, which would be upgrading it to LED, Mississippi Power maintains ownership of those light fixtures. The main difference there is that we assume all risks in. So if there's an act of God that happens, tornado comes through, wipes them all out, it is covered in that monthly cost for us to come out there and put them all back brand new. Same thing if cars hit poles, knock down lights, happens fairly regularly on the
Really amazing.
it's covered in that as well. However, if you go with the turnkey where you purchase the installation and then pair it with maintenance, that maintenance agreement does not include the risk factor. It is simply to maintain the light if the light itself fails, which with LED, it doesn't fail as frequently as we do with these old HID fixtures.
Also, the LED would be cheaper to operate because we do pay the power on those lights, correct?
Exactly.
What was the difference in yearly cost for the lights between the HID and the LED? You done that analysis for us?
So what you are currently paying for HID on the maintenance is $900.
No, I'm sorry, the electrical bill.
Oh, no, I have not done that.
Okay. That,
I will say that.
it should be more, but I just like to know the range, because I think, are we in a position where we cannot maintain HID anymore because of parts availability?
Exactly. So the current maintenance agreement is gonna be, we're notifying you all of that. We can no longer continue that agreement. So it will be canceled. And
Effective when?
it requires a 30-day notice.
Okay.
And so it would be effective 30 days from that notice.
How many lights do we have out right now?
I think they just went through, fixed some, I haven't counted them lately. I don't think there's that many out right now, I haven't counted them, because like I said, I drove down like this morning and there was a few out, but they were like 24 out when we called them, and they got those fixed, but now you have a few more go out. They're just constantly going out. Why? I have no idea.
The LEDs are a bit brighter as well.
That's exactly.
Let me ask you, we got a portion of our lights that are on Dixie Electric. Do you coordinate anything with them, or is that a separate conversation?
It's a separate conversation. Anything on Dixie Electric, we could coordinate as far as making sure light types are the same, so you don't have driving to one area and it's significantly brighter or.
Amy, any idea of how many lights we've got on Dixie Electric? Is that the one basically from Walmart? That little.
A little
Walmart goes to Springfield.
cut off.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Yeah, there's probably about 8 or 10 lights in that deal thing.
Would that be you?
Now, Dixie also carries them lights down there in front of the strip right there too, don't they?
I believe so. So the only ones within this agreement is 186 lights, and it's basically as soon as you start crossing the bridge into Kettle, and then it's right around the Walmart
Yeah, good
area.
Walmart right there.
Yeah, because the box is right at the very top.
Okay. Have that conversation with them, if we can, I'll do that.
I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good thing though, is these will be brighter, so we are getting something. They last a
And
lot
it
longer.
should last, but I like paint agreement, because that, every time we were at
That
that
was,
place.
and it
I don't think.
And I've
was
heard
paid
they-
out, and we grabbed
Samantha, let me ask you a couple of other leading questions. So after we don't own the lights, and then that's the proposal that we buy some risk on that, coverage of risk. Give an example, like when a car crashes into it and throw it in and breaks it. Wouldn't that be covered by when we get the money for the accident from a?
Oh, yeah, we've covered.
Yeah, so we don't want to be double insured in that case, right?
That's right. So
Now-
what we would do is we would pursue that for you guys.
Legally, you would.
But she owns the light.
No, she owns the fixture. You don't own the pole, do you?
Not the pole, the pole would
See,
be.
the pole is us, so you would not be able to go after, you might be able to go for that little head, but not the fixture, so that's what's gonna fall first, so city would have to pursue that, and so I kinda see that as a double risk insurance. So after 7 years for about $154,000, then are you gonna come take those down, or are you gonna hold this over ransom and say, hey, the price went up to X?
Well, so here's with the lease, we can tell you, it is continuous, it's perpetual. So at the end of 7 years, if you are no longer interested in the payment, what we can do is we can reevaluate the system at that time. If we have never had to touch the lights and they are at that point 7 years old, then there will be a depreciated value that we could quote to you all to purchase those. We have not had that situation yet. If you want to cancel it entirely, then yes, we would at that point just come remove the asset.
Because this contract's basically for $154,000. If we do the lease to own, or not even, just a lease.
That's
That's
right,
fine,
that's
lease to
right,
own.
it's not a lease.
Or we pay $100,000 up front, and we pay, basically $12,000 per year. What's the mean time between failure for these lights that you're recommending for us?
So I will tell you on warranty, we're getting anywhere between 3 to 10 years. On these, we get, I think 5 on the lights that we're proposing. So there's that warranty that would cover it for that amount of time already. And then we're seeing if it doesn't fail within about the first year, you're gonna start having issues, and more so it starts dimming down within about 10 years.
Okay. So after we install them in 1 year for $100,000, first day one, we're gonna pay you $12,000 for a warranty, or for changing out something that's already warranted, right?
That's
We're paying you to install. If we paid you $100,000 and a light fails, within like 6 months, whose responsibility to replace that light?
If you're buying them up front and a light fails within that certain time, then it'd be us, if you're doing the maintenance
Yes.
agreement. That's right.
Well, no, if we don't do, I mean,
If
yeah,
you don't do the maintenance agreement, then you could contact us and we can help you work through the warranty issue if need be.
okay, because it'd be your installer that you do subcontract out, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, we're double paying for the first year of warranty and work by paying the initial $12,000 contract. So when you look at the numbers, it's gonna cost about $45,000 to do the second option versus, outright paying gap a year because it's under warranty. I mean, you're basically telling us we're gonna be double insured. To me, that's not a smart business decision. We need new lights. That's obvious. I just don't like the way we're doing it, because it's not smart business for the city. Good business for Mississippi Power.
Okay.
And it's turnkey because we don't have to worry about it all. We just have to throw our hands up. But I think we structure it a little bit different, do it, purchase them outright because we have the funds. If Doug King was here, he's like, hey, we didn't want to lease equipment last year because it didn't make sense for the city. And so good sense for Mississippi Power, but paid up front, gap a year. I mean, you come back and say it wasn't warranty for, because like I said, I don't like to pay for warranty if we don't need it. It's kind of like extended warranty, but so I'm not for, it's really, I want a hybrid. I want another option.
That's right.
Purchase it, come back and then after years, start, gap at 365, start your maintenance agreement, and tell us what that number will be.
Is there any, now you would just own the lights, right?
That's right.
So I guess the bulb or the head.
So it's with LED fixtures, it's just the ones that we provide. It's the whole fixture is itself. There's not a bulb that you.
And the only reason I say that is MDOT purchased, well, us and MDOT purchased those lights originally, so we own the whole thing right now.
And essentially, you would also.
Except for the rates that we have with them, we
Yes,
provide
that's right.
electricity and the bulbs and everything.
Yeah, I mean, when I just did math and looked at the double protection and double risk, I mean, you're telling me double, which is good, if I really want to take it, but I don't think it's the best interest of the citizens to pay that extra just to have, I just don't think it's worth that value for us.
Could we look at something, another option possibly?
Yeah, so exactly what you said. I mean, if you just wanted to buy them outright, then I can provide you all of the warranty information that we have. I'll work with you on the manufacturer of the lights and everything to see if there's better options there as well to get you that better warranty.
There's gotta be some kind of warranty, good warranty that we can get with.
That's right. Which I know that if you purchase through us, we have a 1 year, I believe it's a 1 year workmanship warranty, but then the manufacturers that we use provide whoever we sell the lights to, that manufacturer warranty automatically. It comes with it. It's not like an add-on or anything. But then we can just follow up and we stay in
Can you
contact.
get that, can you get that information to Mike, and then we can deal with it at our first meeting in, September?
Yeah.
And I would say we could table that.
Yeah, I'll make most.
Deal with it at the next meeting.
Now, I would,
For the next 6 months.
I would like, you've not given us the 30 days cut yet, right?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I can send an email.
I want to make sure we're 100% operational out there, because if we give you a list of right now, if you have a list, I mean, if you have a list, I would expect that would be taken care of before you cut us off,
That's right.
a certain date. Okay. So let us,
Yeah, we'll have-
don't send us email till tomorrow.
Okay.
No, we'll have it wrapped up by, I think it's September 6th.
It still takes a couple of months to get all the parts in. Usually when I call them, it takes a couple of months for them to ever get back out there and put them up because they have to order everything.
Yeah, we'll have it taken care of at the next meeting, for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing, just when you come back to this, they said within 5 working days, we have, based on new maintenance contract. Is that different than what we currently have?
No,
Because- okay.
no. So our commitment is to assess the situation within that time frame because if we're having to order parts. Now, whenever we had accessibility to HID components, we kept those in our warehouses and everything like that. We don't even have those anymore. So the 5-day commitment is to come out, assess the problem, see what's wrong, and then get everything we need to replace it at that point.
Maybe look at, I'd like to see a kind of a conclusion. I mean, I know for HID, you know, we're having problems with the supply logistics.
That's
But
right.
when we look at the new maintenance contract after plus 1 year, you know, a 5-day evaluation is fine, but I like to see a 30, some sort of right limit.
That's right.
Otherwise, we're just hanging out there and say, hey, this guy, we can come back, 'cause I know you treat us well, especially since you live in Sunrise, you're part of our team here, so that's a good. So just look at that one, because it was open-ended, that's not good for the city.
So what you're asking for is not only a commitment to them to come out and assess the situation, but hey, based on material, we think it would be this. amount.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll do that.
Right. Thanks for taking care of us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah, make motion to table.
I don't have.
All in favor of table?
Another one for you, Mike, to figure out.
That's the second strike, that's the second swing at that.
We do.
Number 10, let's get the easy stuff. Hey, Mike again. Number 10, request to dispose of one DeWalt Impact asset number 2900.
Motion.
Motion second, all in favor? Request to donate one used canine kennel to the Hattiesburg Police Department.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, request to donate 3 surplus Patriot plates and carriers to the Greene County School District.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 13, request to transfer 4 Patriot plates and carriers to the Petal Fire Department.
Motion.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 14, request to dispose of various pieces of PPE that are out of date.
Motion.
Second,
Hey, Chief, I meant to ask this offline, but I know those are all out of date, you can't use, we don't want those you use during fires, but those have no training value, and they're sort of, like, you know, when you guys do the steps,
Some
so,
of them,
okay,
we
good.
will use some of them we're gonna do.
Yeah. I saw your list, it was very, you know, it had a very specific, you guys are taking care of the city when you actually do that, so thank you.
all right, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, request to authorize Dixie Electric to construct electrical services for streetlights in Williamsburg, a subdivision at a cost of $2,763.84. Is there a motion?
Second.
And I would like to say, thank you for all the work that you put into that. As well as thank you, Amy, I appreciate it very much. I know that was a very.
That's Amy, but I'll take credit.
Well, thank you, Amy, I do appreciate it. I know it was a very odd situation, and I just want to say, I know. a lot
I kind of figured it out, it was kind of a weird deal there for a little while.
Some smart people at the table, thank you.
Awesome. Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 16, request to pay the estimate number 5 in the amount of $240,049.76 to Warren & Warren for the Robert E. Russell Sports Complex parking lot improvements, first house, Dearman Wake's recommendation.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, request to renew PHS soccer banner in the amount of $125.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just for note, I'd already tried to turn mine in from my other
Same
meeting.
here.
So see, with a little, I guess soccer folks, but anyway, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Request to dispose of one DeWalt reciprocating saw. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, seminars and travel. Request the following to attend hazmat training in Gulfport, Mississippi, August 22nd to the 26th. Total cost $0. We like those. Cody Barber, Brandon Clark, Will Lewis. Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 20, request the following to attend. This sounds cool. Funzar, SARTech 2 training in Meridian, Mississippi. Total cost, this is another one, this is September 12th to the 16th. Total cost $0. James Givens, Cody Barber, Mario Weathersby.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? This one I want to question. Number 21, request for Melissa Martin and Lynn Campfield to attend City Clerks Fall Conference in Meridian on September 28th through the 30th. Total cost $1,090 plus mileage. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is the bus broken?
It will be.
Can be arranged, yeah. You got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 22, request for Daniel Flynn to attend Advanced Search and Seizure class in Pearl, September 20th, cost is $0. Is there a motion? Got a motion, second? All in favor?
Aye.
Request for Craig Locke to attend CIT International Conference in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the 27th through September 1st. Cost $276. Is there a motion?
Second.
And Keith goes to Pittsburgh.
And he really,
Can
he
be
does
after
a,
that.
he's done a good job with that.
He's done a great job at that, yes, sir.
Awesome. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Orders and ordinances. Request to adopt order hiring Avery Hatton as part-time patrol at a rate of $13 per hour. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
But you.
Hey, stand up and introduce yourself. I'm sorry.
I'm Avery Hatton.
Hey, fantastic.
Nice to meet everyone.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We like to show our people off. We always made the argument, we didn't want to bump into folks if we just hired a week before, we didn't know what they looked like.
Okay.
We bump into them at Walmart, we didn't even know who they were.
Okay.
But anyway, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you part of the family.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Number 25, request to adopt an ordinance amending section 2-54, setting the day and time for regular meetings and work sessions. Ms. Ada, pay attention to this one now. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second for discussion? You want to explain a little bit of it?
Certainly. I'm proposing this amendment to, basically what we're talking about doing is moving our regular scheduled meetings back 30 minutes to 6:30. And then at our 6 o'clock time slot, starting a weekly or a regular work session meeting. That'll be a meeting where we can actually get together and discuss things that are on the agenda, things that you've seen us discuss at these meetings, stuff like tonight. But then also to bring in experts or anything like that that we want to speak to about current or future issues, and to just discuss the future of the city as a whole. As aldermen, we are not allowed to talk to one another about city issues as a quorum. And real difficult to kind of do your job whenever you're not actually allowed to speak to one another. And on nights like tonight, whenever we all get together, we have a very specific agenda. We're supposed to talk about very specific things, and we don't really lay out future plans, future goals and aspirations, things that we're concerned about. We're restricted to this agenda. And so I'm trying to provide an opportunity for us to be able to come together, discuss things. Sometimes we'll be discussing mostly the agenda, sometimes we'll be discussing future plans. I know this board well enough now to know that we don't typically get out of here too early as it is. So I don't know how much, I don't think that this is really going to lengthen the amount of time that we stay here very much on Tuesdays. It'll just give us an opportunity to come in here and add some extra stuff to our table and actually be able to discuss. Not many people do this. I personally think that that is a mistake. As I said, this would be our only real opportunity to come in and discuss things long term. That's more ambiguous, but not an emergency, which is what work sessions kind of usually are.
Anybody else? Any other comments?
I guess my only comment, I suppose, I
I don't have any issue at all ever coming in for work session. You know, those in 11 years, we've had those calls from time to time as needed. I don't know that the best route to do that is to permanently set in stone. This is what we're going to do every meeting that we have. And the response to that might be, well, look, if it's not needed, then we won't have it. Well, I guess that kind of would go back to, well, then why do we need to adjust an ordinance?
Actually, my response to it would mostly be, what is the mental benefit versus cost analysis? Like, does this cost us anything, and does it benefit us anything? I don't think it costs us anything. We're moving our regular meeting back 30 minutes, and we're meeting at the same time. Does it benefit us anything? It gives us opportunities to talk about things that we don't get to talk about. You and I and Craig here spoke about something yesterday that was perfectly legal for us to talk about. But if any of us went and mentioned that subject to another alderman, suddenly we're breaking open meeting policy laws, or get the name. But you don't have to have a quorum at a specific place. If at any point in time we discuss an issue amongst 4 of us, whether or not those 4 are gathered together, that does break the open meeting law.
I think I would be more apt to vote for it if it actually said may and not must.
The problem is if it
And
says
do may, because we may have 2 things on the agenda, but we don't need a work session. You know, that's, you know, like I said, we've never had this issue.
Is there anything that prohibits us right now from, let's say, the first meeting in September, that there was a request to have a work session at 6 o'clock and to start our regular meeting at 6:30? Is there anything?
I think the ordinance
That would
is the problem
prohibit
with that. Yeah, the ordinance says our meeting starts at 6 o'clock.
But there would not be anything prohibiting us from saying, let's have a work session at 5:30.
That's right.
Or at 4:30,
Or the day before.
or the day before, or anything like that, to fluctuate the time to time. That's where, I think that's where I'm kind of, you know, it's kind of one of these, you know, hey, here, we're from the government, let's make more regulations and everything. Anytime there's ever been a work session called, unless I've had, you know, prior obligations or something like that, it's never been an issue whatsoever. I just don't.
This isn't a regulation on our people. We're not regulating anything that will put extra burden on anyone that we govern. This is to put regulation on us, to give us an opportunity to discuss things that otherwise we don't have opportunities to discuss. We all know that we have things that are up in the air.
But again, if you call us and say, look, we need a work session, we put it out, we can do it then. We don't have to have something that just says we have to have it every meeting.
There's not a meeting that we left here. We typically go.
But that
honestly,
just because we have a work session, not saying we're gonna get out here early.
We typically go until about 7 or so anyways, and we spend all that time talking. There are many times where we've discussed things outside, and we always have to be careful because we're not allowed to be in a quorum. This is an opportunity to give us the chance to talk about these things, to give Tony a time slot to where he can tell experts that are supposed to come here and advise us on certain things to say, hey, this is a good time for us to be here. And this is a time for our citizens to actually come and listen to the conversations that we have about our city. And it doesn't cost us any, if one of these meetings is short because there's just not much on the agenda and we don't have much to do, then we come here at the same time as we always do. We hold our work session meeting. We meet for the 15 minutes to run over the agenda, catch up on anything that we need to talk about. And then we break for 15 minutes. And then we come back in here and we meet for our 6:30 meeting for the agenda. And we just run through it and we go home at about 7 o'clock, probably maybe earlier if the meeting is short, which is better than we do most nights.
Where you getting 7 at?
I was saying 7 to 2 now, So see, like, I really don't think that this is, I understand it's a change,
You're
but
saying some of the dialogue during the regular part of the meeting wouldn't happen if we had it.
some of the dialogue wouldn't happen during the regular part of the meeting, and we would have opportunities to have other dialogue.
That little word change in there.
But
I,
you see,
I don't have a problem with it at all in theory. I don't personally want and see the need to revise the ordinance to make it a standard. We have to do this every meeting.
because that's the reason why I wanted to put it at the same time as we're meeting right now, so it wouldn't be a change on our schedule. And the reason why it is shall, and the reason why it's an ordinance, is because it makes it to where we don't have to announce to every single person, doesn't put the burden on Tony to announce it, prior to our meetings and us to announce it over Facebook. We allow our citizens to know we are gathering together at this time to discuss our agenda and the future of Petal, having the experts, and it'll just be a regular part of the meeting. All the people who showed up here at 6 can still show up at 6 and be a part of that meeting. This, like I said, doesn't make us announce, schedule, commit to a work session that we don't know is going to happen or not. It just says this is going to happen. Like I said, not very many other places do this. I understand that this is kind of a unique ask of this board and of this city, but I think that is their fault. And I think that we should get together and actually discuss things. And that's simply why I worded it the way that I have, and as an ordinance.
The current one, if y'all wanna know, for work sessions, just says that you can hold a work session at any such date and time as may be designated by the mayor or majority of the board.
And that will not go away. We can still call special work sessions for events that we think are going to last very long, for our financing, that we've been doing for this past couple of weeks. All of that will still stay in place. This just gives us the time to come together and discuss previously. Like I said, most nights it'll probably mostly be agenda, and it'll be the discussions that happen here and all this.
So is there anything in this ordinance that compels me to be here, or can I just stay at home and then just show up?
I would say you don't have to be here for the general sessions.
Anything else? Anything else? Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay. But I'm perfectly willing to be at any work session ever necessary and needed.
I got 4 nays, Craig Wright.
I thought that was a unanimous you. No?
We did this on part that I don't have a question here, or that lad Mike is here. Alrighty, request to increase the rates of pay for the.
Wait a minute, can you 22?
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm gonna be consistent with that. I always try to throw that out there to keep y'all, make sure everybody's still awake. Number 26, is there a motion to, a request to hire Dylan Anglin as a third-class firefighter at a rate of $12.1083 per hour, effective August 24th. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Is he here?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking, chief. All right, number 27, request to increase the rates of pay of the following. Now, we've got employee numbers there, but I'll go ahead and tell you who they are and what the actual rates are that were actually in the packet. It is Levi Strauss to supervisor at a rate of pay of $17 per hour. Keith Wright to assistant supervisor at a rate of pay of $16 an hour. Dalton McDonald to a rate of pay of $14 an hour. Micah Dyke to a rate of pay of $15 an hour, and Justin Johnson to a rate of pay of $15 an hour. All of them are in the water department. And I believe everybody was $1, Mike, or was somebody $2? Was it bump up $1 for everybody, or was somebody $2?
Some of the couple, yes.
Okay. That's always the question I used to have. And in the future, we'll have the names on the actual, agenda. But anyway, we got busy and here we go. But, anyway, is there a motion for that?
Motion.
Discussion.
Yeah, Rick.
Just, define the difference between assistant supervisor and supervisor.
If supervisor's out, then the assistant supervisor take over in the spot that he's at. He's also to be on another job site and have more knowledge than the other guys that already got there, that he can actually lead on with other people as well.
Do we have that duty description written down anywhere in writing?
Not beside, all we have is a job skill, verification. It's not actually, written out what their job duties are and all.
And how many people, I think this is it's a manning issue, HR. To be a supervisor, you have to monitor how many people in your group.
I don't think we've got it written down.
Doesn't have to be,
The only thing
just to be
is salary,
supervisor,
to
that's
be
just salary.
Exempt from overtime, you have to have two.
Just two.
Yeah,
That's- that's-
supervisor, two or more.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
yes.
And that's
salary,
their
yeah.
salary. It doesn't matter how many people.
Well, the problem we've got is Hattiesburg is offering, starting their people, and has started the people, almost 6 months ago, about 15 an hour. We've had several offers come across, and I just can't at this time afford to lose anybody, because I've already lost $2 to $18 an hour at our neighboring water system. And I've got other offers coming to them as well, and I tell them, hang on, we got other things going on, we got, maybe a new company coming in.
This,
Don't know
yeah,
what's
this
going on.
also, some of this gets
Yeah.
blown out in the wash at the same time, and hopefully these numbers, you can go higher for those guys and the guys in the street department when it's all said and done. But anyway.
I just can't afford to lose anybody else right now, I'm down to 5.
We need to make a change over.
Doctor's office budgeted?
Sir, yes, we just lost one, was already making 16 an hour, so we've not filled all the slots yet, because we can't,
If the slots were filled, is this budget?
if they fill the slots, yes, we can still do that.
Yeah, he's within budget on that.
All right. It's good to see you got Keith to transfer over from the street. Or give him some.
Well, he was in water, but I was cross-training him to use him in both ways, but I'm so short-handed in water, I've got to bring him back.
Awesome, got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, I guess the only thing I've got in the mayor's report is that we need to see the need for an executive session on,
Pending legal matters, some contract negotiation, that'll do it.
and another legal matter, so 3 different things. So, no decisions, one will be totally informational, so.
Maybe there's, I think there's a.
Oh, I'm
group
sorry.
Out here, I think they.
Come up here.
Jim's been sitting here waiting.
I am terrible, I'm so sorry. I wanted to see your tax dollars at work.
Jim, get him.
You don't know how you.
Does everybody know, Mr. Jim Cavazza lives on Russell Road? We've had, and just kind of give some background on Mr. Jim, we've had obviously speeding problems because everybody zooms down the hill in and out of the county and goes from Russell up to 3 Mile. And we put stop signs in there, so I think you're fixing to tell us a little bit about, help a little bit, but it ain't where we
I've
need to
got
be.
2 people here with me
Good.
from Russell Road that also is involved.
I live in Eastwood.
This has been going on for some 10 years. I first brought the attention to Willie Hinton back when he was in office. Now, 2.5 years ago, I met with you guys when Hal was mayor. And on that particular day that I met with you guys, they sent out a patrol officer. That morning, he wrote 34 citations for speeding. It hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. You're coming into a battle both ways. I got hit 2.5 years ago, knocked about 20 feet. I was fortunate, I was in good shape then. If it hit me today, it hurt. What we're asking for is to put up speed bumps. And that's the only thing I see, because I was informed that you only have 1 traffic officer. So I was informed, of that, and the only way we're going to eliminate this is by speed bump. Now, my neighbor who's facing my house lives on the left. I think he may be a minister. He told me the other day, he said, if I wasn't a religious man, I could put a stop to it.
Tell him we're working on the issue.
And if you didn't know me 46 years ago before I got sober,
You'd have done it.
and joined AA, I would have done it.
Hey, Chief,
Sir, yes, sir.
Any chance we could get the, I hate to say this on YouTube, but, any way we can get our trailer out there?
We can.
Okay, and they're gonna park in your,
I've already put it out there.
okay. In the meantime, I'm getting to the other part of it though, but I guess, Chief, is there a possibility we could go look, if it's the will of the board, to see if there is a adequate place to do this?
What's your address?
382.
It's right at the bottom of the bowl, isn't it?
And that, I think that.
Now,
would
mine
probably-
is before you get down to where I got my motor parked.
Yeah.
From a safety standpoint, the trick will be to be able to put it in the right place. You don't want to have a vehicle going too far down and you put the speed bump in the wrong place.
Well, we, Sheldon and I, we discussed, if you put one below his last drive coming into town, and you put one below my neighbor's across the street drive there, you're gonna stop the one from coming in town, and you're gonna stop the one leaving town.
Past the, so if you're going out of town past the second stop sign?
Yes,
Okay.
and past the second stop sign, past my driveway and past my neighbor's.
I showed Mike, as well. I wanted to take a look at a couple, different types of speed bumps as well. And at least start off with some that aren't quite as, not bones jarring, but your speed, you'll know it, but not, I mean, there's a difference between that and here.
We put rumble strips out at Tropical Garden and they have not done anything.
They
So we don't want to
now that's gonna do, that irritate me more.
No, we don't want to do rumble strips, because you got to listen to them too, and if they're not slowing down, it doesn't help any. But, they got some bumps in a parking lot that I want Mike to look at and see if those would do. They're not us forming them up or anything like that. But if the board, I guess we would have to vote on it at some point. Can we add that to the agenda? I guess, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a long straight, road that has a traditional high speed on it. The speed bump that I do believe that's gonna be on us to have those so clearly marked that liability doesn't come out. And that might actually be like an engineered, discussion.
I'll make a motion, let Mike look at, see what we need, and if we need, what he comes up with, we do.
Between y'all two,
I'm in
y'all look at it and
there
just say,
next
no,
day or
that's it,
so.
we can't do it, just let us know, and we'll go from there, and we'll have that conversation. If you would, Mr. Jim, matter of fact, I've got your phone number, I'll give your number to them, and we'll go from there. If there, we got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
You're asking what we did. You're asking. There's your speed bump, right?
I made the motion to,
But when I voted for two, I didn't know it was so long-winded.
I made the motion to let Mike look at it, let them look, see what we can have, whatever they come up with, and that's what we're.
How about letting them include myself?
That's what, yeah, I'm gonna give them your phone.
I got Sheldon's number, I'll let Sheldon know.
I'm gonna give you that phone number. Oh, yeah, wherever you put them in, we should be happy with them, 'cause then you can't blame anybody, but, good deal. Thanks, gang. Appreciate y'all coming in.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Before I forget,
Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you guys saw what I posted in the pedal group this morning, but this is in Spanish. Does that
I
old
did hear
library, you can see it in the neighborhood?
I had trouble translating it.
So somebody's advertising it for,
Yeah.
in Spanish,
Yeah.
for 3 years free rent.
He was here
We
right
actually
before.
just had him in here today.
Yeah.
What is he, is that accurate?
He said if somebody will do the work to fix it up, then he'll let them stay in there for.
Okay, 'cause somebody said it was city owned, so I was like,
No,
well, I
it's
might
not.
as well let y'all know, but, that's what it says, that they're advertising it for 3 years free rent, so.
No, he appeared before us before we told we needed to do the work, and instead he's pushing the work.
Oh, so like labor, bartering it,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
If y'all, this city ought to fix it up, that's,
We don't own it.
Peace, love, and will it ever be like where it's like a hazard?
No, he's big, he really fixed it up good, I think.
Quite a house, but it definitely needs to be.
He doesn't have-
All right, is that all you had to say? Anything else?
no, y'all know that.
All right,
I got
clear
something
it.
for the mayor, just to tell the mayor.
Oh,
Good, just me. Oh, Lord.
It ain't bad, it's just, I'm gonna remind you of something.
Okay, all right, and then did I clear the room, see the need for another motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right, folks. Thank y'all for coming.